Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Sidetrack here, bringing you another Minecraft tutorial. Today we're going to be taking a look at a mod entitled Applied Energistics by Algorithm X2. And in this video, we're just going to be talking basics. What is the mod? Basic things that it adds to the game. If you already know a bit about the mod and you just want to know how it works, you might want to just go ahead and skip to the next video in the series, but it's entirely up to you. So let's get started. So what is Applied Energistics? Well, Applied Energistics is really what most people call a tech-based storage mod, or at least that's what I'm going to call it. Tech-based because it adds little computer-type devices and it runs on power, so it's technologically based. And storage mod because it helps you store items. It helps you store, move items around, keep them organized. It helps you auto-craft items. It's very, very cool. And in its most extreme form, you may be wondering, why is there a wall of chests right here? Well, in its most extreme form, you can condense the items of all of these chests. That's roughly 1,828 stacks of items, as represented by these chests in here. You can compress all of that stuff down into a little storage drive that you can put into your ME network, and all of this can get compressed into less than 1 block's worth of items, or space, which is very, very cool. In its less extreme form, you can take the space of, say, 5 boxes and compress them onto one of the much smaller disks. So very, very cool, very useful. If you're like me and you hoard everything, I usually end up with, chests upon chests of cobblestone, and who the heck needs that anyway? I don't know, but you might have a use for it, so you gotta save it. Hoarders unite! Hoarders unite! Alright, so, helps you compress items, bring them, put them in small spaces, store them easily, find things easily. It's an awesome mod, well worth your look. So if you're still with me, let's see what this actually brings into the game. So some basic blocks. Ignore this. This is from thermal expansion. Be using that in the next video. To your world gen, Applied Energistics adds Certus quartz ore. It comes in this kind of block. You break it with a pickaxe, just like any other ore, and it will break into this Certus quartz and Certus quartz dust. You can directly use the Certus quartz to make a variety of tools. You'd make them exactly like you'd make their, iron or gold or diamond counterpart, and they are roughly equivalent to iron. I've heard they have slightly more uses. I never use them, so I really don't look into it. I haven't looked into it that much, but it's roughly equivalent of iron. The one thing that you will need to make, unless of course you have another mod installed that gives you a universal wrench, is you're going to have to make this quartz wrench. Quartz wrench is what I have in my hand, and it's made quite simply. It's any kind of quartz, so it can be nether quartz or this Certus quartz. Just put them in an X, and it'll make you your quartz wrench. And you're going to use this to manipulate all the Applied Energistics items. So we're going to be using that as tutorials go. Now, one thing that I'm going to note, and I'm going to put it in this video because I don't know where else to put it, is that this gives a block that we call the Grindstone. Grindstone is made pretty simply. I have Buildcraft installed, so it's showing me a wooden gear from Buildcraft. Just cobblestone, stone, and any kind of quartz dust. You're going to make that. You're also going to make a handle. Handle is, or I guess they call it a wooden crank, and it's just wood. Ignore the helmet there. It's just wood in kind of an upside down L. Put the crank in the top, and now you've got your working grindstone. Now, this is a manual block. What you do is you put ore, or you can put your Certus quartz crystals, or your nether quartz crystals in here, and then you sit here and right click on it. And it takes a very long time. You can see it will move 1 block into the center, and then after much cranking and sitting here, you'll find that it turns that iron ore into 2 iron dust. So 1 ore equals 2 dust. Now, if anybody is familiar with, say, industrial craft or thermal expansion, you will find that this is almost exactly the same thing as the macerator from industrial craft or the pulverizer from thermal expansion. It takes one ore, turns it into 2 dust, and then you can use these dust in a furnace to turn them into ingots. So essentially you get 2 ingots for every ore, which is much more efficient than just using the ore in the furnace, because then you just get 1 per. Now, the main purpose of this block is not necessarily to double your ores, but it's really thermal expansion, Applied Energistics way of allowing you to crush your Certus quartz and your nether quartz into the Certus and nether quartz dust. If you don't have any other mod besides Applied Energistics installed, you're gonna need this Grindstone. And unfortunately, it's entirely manual. You can't get it to work. At least I have never found out a way to get it to work with any other machine. So if you know how to, please leave a comment below, because I'm sure people would love to hear it. So this is where I'm going to stop this video. Applied Energistics, it's a storage mod. It allows you to compress lots of items into one place. You got some basic tools, some new world gen, some ore, and then this basic grindstone. Next video, we're going to talk about how to actually go about using this mod. So this next video might be a little more useful to most of you. But without further ado, this is Sidetrack signing off. Folks, have a great day.